Listen, a lot of people don't know basketball. They like to speak from a fanboy perspective without actually playing the game at a high level. I used to be a pro basketball player, so I know what I'm talking about when it comes to the insides and out of basketball. I hate when these fans try to criticize players for load management. Listen, I'm not saying I'm a huge fan of it, but I get it. Load management helps out in the long run. It's like you could say, oh, a guy who's a healthy scratch is not good. I'm like, bruh, maybe his team is trying to preserve him for down the stretch for more important games. They're trying to protect their investment. It's like it's business. You are trying to help out and preserve these guys' careers for the long run. Let me tell you something. Penny Hardaway, Derrick Rose, Brandon Roy could have used load management. Danny Granger could have used load management. Grant Hill could have used load management. T-Mac could have used load management. It's like, all you people are selfish. You don't care about the players. I do. You don't care about the players. All you care about is buying your tickets. It's like you treat these guys like they are circus freaks. Bruh, they don't owe you a damn thing, man. What if Derrick Rose had load management when he was in Chicago? He would have been a Hall of Famer. Brandon Roy could have been a Hall of Famer if he had load management. You can't predict injuries. So, most all injuries are freak accidents, or some injuries are based on certain guys play too many minutes for too many games. A lot of guys play hurt, but they don't tell you. A lot of guys play with sore knick-knack injuries, which will lead to bigger injuries. So why not load manage to avoid bigger injuries? If a guy has a sore knee and he's still playing, who is to say he won't end up like Derrick Rose if he continues to play on it? It's common sense. I'm trying to look out for the players. Load management is actually a good thing for the long run. It helps guys avoid bigger injuries. And it feels like you don't gotta force players to play if they have nagging injuries. Okay, sit out. Sit out until you're healthy, so you can help out our team and so you can live up to your contract. Look at Zion Williamson. You saying he don't need load management? Bruh, that dude wakes up out of bed injured. Rajon Rondo could have used load management. DeMarcus Cousins could have used load management. You want to avoid injuries? Okay, don't play back-to-backs. It's all about trying to avoid injuries or long-term injuries for your future. So what is the problem? I don't care about healthy scratches. Bruh, you don't know how hard it is to play a full 82-game schedule. You got practice, traveling, and you have to work on your game. You got a diet. It's hard. It's like you can't compare to guys in the 80s, 70s, 90s, whatever. Because a lot of those guys, their bodies broke down before year 10. So why do you got an issue with load management? I would have loved to seen What would have been if Penny Hardaway would have never gotten hurt? Look at the Pistons, bro. They drove Grant Hill through the ground. They never gave him any help. Grant Hill was carrying those teams. Look at T-Mac. T-Mac had a hurt back by carrying the Magic, literally. Listen, T-Mac had back spasms, which actually cut his career short. T-Mac could have played longer at a higher level, but those damn back spasms hurt him. Steve Francis could have used load management. But imagine not taking games off when you play for a bad team. So what was the point, right? The Magic did not give him any help. He was carrying those teams, which led to back spasms because T-Mac had to do too much. He was never resting. The only time T-Mac missed games was when he was hurt. But it's like, bruh, what did that solve? What did that prove? Nothing. Now T-Mac has permanent back problems for his whole entire life. What if T-Mac would have had load management? You don't know how long T-Mac would have played. Remember T-Mac when he was with the Rockets? It was a short run because he had a bad back. If he had load management, he would not have a bad back. See what I'm saying? See, nobody gets it. All you idiots, y'all speak from a fan perspective? Nah, bruh. I speak from a player's perspective. I get it. Why they need load management. It's about lasting longer. That's what's all about, lasting longer, man. Just imagine Jermaine O'Neal, Chris Bosh, D Wade. All should have had load management. All those guys had to retire due to injuries. Too many nicks and knacks. They couldn't play at a high level for a very, very long time because they were battling injuries and playing through injuries. Right? Being forced to play when you have a sore ankle or a sore hamstring, that's what those guys were doing. Did it pay off? No. So I'm saying, it's like, how come Bron playing still, but Chris Bosh ain't playing? He could have load management. That's all I'm saying. It's like a healthy scratch, I have no issue. That means you are resting. Resting, like, what's so bad about resting? See, like I said, you are talking from a fan perspective, not from a player's perspective. If you was an NBA, trust me. See, look, all these people who are crying about load management, I guarantee you this. You would have load management. You would have no issue with it. If you was playing in the NBA, would you cry about load management? No. So it's very hypocritical. If you was an NBA basketball player right now, would you cry and complain about being load managed? No. You will shut up and take your money. That's what I mean. You are talking as a fan and not as a player. Players love load management. Like I said, there's so many players that could have had load management and they could have been Hall of Famers because their bodies would have been fresh for down the stretch. That's why I have no issue with load management. It's like, yeah, the fans might suffer, but you have to watch out for the health of the players long term. Oh yeah, you was dying to see Derrick Rose play every day. Okay, look where he's at. Tom Thibodeau ran him through the ground. Now look where he's at. He is a journeyman. because he gave his all for the Bulls. What did it solve? What did it prove? Nothing. Derrick Rose could have been a Hall of Famer. Now he's not. He might be the first and only MVP not to make it to the Hall of Fame. And that's sad. What if he would have had load management and he didn't play back-to-backs? Rose could have avoided tons of injuries when it comes to his kind of playing style. Now, do you get it? I wish Penny Hardaway had load management. I wish. I loved watching Hardaway. To me, he was the best player in the NBA next to Michael Jordan in his prime. That's how good he was. But in that era, it was so tough. All the back-to-backs, all the hard days out in practice. Those days were hard as a player. So eventually, yeah, Penny was going to be hurt. Based on his body, based on his frail body, Penny could have been a Hall of Famer. But his body just couldn't withstand a full 82-game schedule. So, by you as a fan, you want to run him through the ground? Did that pay off? Nope. So please, shut the hell up about load management, because you are a damn hypocrite. If you was a player in the NBA, you would have no problem sitting out games when you were healthy. It's called preserving your investment, protecting your investment for the future. Do not run him through the ground, because at any given moment, you could have a devastating injury like Derrick Rose, like Penny Hardaway, like Grant Hill. You don't know. So you avoid that by missing some games. Stay healthy. Do not force yourself to play just to please the goddamn fans, bro. They are not paying your salary by that logic. So please, shut the hell up about crying about load management. That's it. I'm done.